a great representative for the federal electorate of Moore. Now, in just around a couple of months' time, West Australians are going to have a choice. They're going to have a choice to send Tom French to federal parliament under a Labor government, just as they chose the wonderful Caitlin Collins to represent Hillary's once again in the state elections last week. Yesterday we heard about how much GST WA is getting from that hard-fought deal between the federal government and the WA state government, the McGowan government at the time, to get a fair share for WA's GST. And here's what we know, and here's what all West Australians should remember, is that there was one person sitting around the cabinet room who opposed it, who vehemently opposed WA getting their fair share of the GST. And that one person was Peter Dutton. One person was Peter Dutton. Now, even before Tom French is elected, hopefully, to federal parliament, he's managed to deliver these lights here along with Caitlin, these lights to this park. Imagine what he can do if he's actually elected as the member for Moore. West Australians cannot risk Peter Dutton as the leader, and they cannot risk our fair share of the GST. What they can rely on is a state Labor government, a WA Labor government, and a Labor federal government working together to deliver for local communities and delivering for West Australians more generally. And to finish off, I'm going to hand off to the wonderful Caitlin Collins to address you all quickly.
Hi there, I'm Caitlin Collins, the member for Hillary's. It's a privilege to be here today with the candidate for Moore, Tom French, who also ran at the last election. I'm really confident that Tom will have a lot of support in this community. As Minister's just pointed out, he's already delivering and not even elected yet. So really pleased to get behind him.
Questions?
Do you mind speaking about Simone McGurk? What do you think about that? She's declared victory. Do you mind stepping in?
Yeah, I'll get Caitlin to give the state perspective first, yeah?
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. Anthony Green has called that seat, so Simone McGurk has worked incredibly hard as a minister and as the member for Fremantle. So I believe that's an extra seat that we now have. Thanks.
Yeah, I think I agree with Caitlin. Now, I think it's the result from the last election, the election last week, I think exceeded everyone's expectations. That's not saying anything extraordinary, and it's great to see that Simone McGurk, who has been a senior minister in the WA Labor government for many years now, is returned, and that the people of Fremantle have returned her to government.
It was a pretty close call, wasn't it?
Sure was. I've been there. I've been in that position where it's taken 10 days to count a seat. So yeah, I feel for Simone, but she's made it through.
And there's only been 65% of votes counted at the moment. What do you think about this? And do you think the federal election will be the same slow pace?
Look, I don't know. I think what we should always be really cautious about reading too much into state elections and the implications that they have for federal elections. Certainly, the state election last week returned a Cook Labor government, which shows that West Australians are happy with the Cook Labor government, but also shows that the Liberal government Liberals had 8 years to prove to West Australians that they were either a viable option or ready to govern, and they failed. They failed on both those counts. So I think, the fact that West Australians understand that a steady hand at the ship, particularly when we're facing some global headwinds of uncertainty, a steady hand at the ship that has demonstrated good governance is what we really need right now.
Can we expect Anthony Albanese to use the same slogan as Warren Cook?
Well, what do you mean? Building.
The slogan of saying steady hand. Steady hand.
Oh, look, that's my words. I tend to bring in my own words into things, but I do believe that the Albanese Labor government has demonstrated, particularly in international relations, has demonstrated our capacity and our ability to go out there and mend those international relationships that we had, and mend our international reputation, whether it's in the Pacific, whether it's in Europe, or whether it's indeed with China. That's the kind of level-headedness that you need as we face more and more global uncertainty.
There's a anti-domestic violence rally happening all over the country today, one here in Perth at 12 o'clock. Will you be attending?
I won't be attending this one. I've attended many in the past, and I tend not to attend as a Member of Parliament, but to attend as a survivor myself. This is something that's absolutely very, very dear to my heart, but it's also very dear to the hearts of everyone in our federal government. It's why we've taken swift action to address domestic violence, why we have an aim of ending domestic violence within a generation, and why we will continue to fund and support anti-domestic violence services in Western Australia and across Australia as well, recognising that domestic violence is a scourge on our society.
The Prime Minister was also invited to go along to some of these over East. Part of these rallies is for politicians to take more action. Is there any reason you and him won't be attending those?
I don't think that you need to be attending a rally to take more action. Okay? I've attended many, many rallies out of a personal conviction and personal lived experience of family and domestic violence. I don't go to take a photo op and say that I went to a rally. I go because I care deeply about it. And I don't think you need to attend a rally to take action. I think we've demonstrated that we are willing and capable and able of taking action on domestic violence, and we will continue to do so.
And what's your message for those that are rallying today?
Keep rallying. Keep talking about family and domestic violence, because nothing ends if you stay silent. We need to keep this in the consciousness of the Australian public. We need to ensure that each and every single person understands their responsibility to end violence against women. Governments can do so much. We can fund the services, we can, put the workers out there, but each and every single person also has a personal responsibility to end violence against women. Keep rallying, keep talking. And to all those beautiful women out there who have shared their stories with me, given me the privilege of hearing their stories of survival, keep sharing your stories.
Thanks, everyone.
Hey, just can I ask a question?
The last one.
Yeah, did you catch up with the PM at all? Did you see the PM at all when he was over here with us?
No, I haven't. I know the PM was super duper busy, as he always is when he comes to WA. So I personally didn't get to see him this time around, unfortunately, but I know that he'll be around again.
Thanks, everyone.
Know what he was up to last night?
No, I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure you can find it out.